be turning 18 pretty soon, and by pretty soon I mean tomorrow.
Yeah, I think I got like 4 hours left.
Excellent.
Right on.
What do you have planned?
Oh man, I already had a crazy birthday bash this weekend with everybody who came in from out of town. So I'm just probably gonna go out to eat, have some fun with some friends and some family, kick back and just enjoy the last few hours I have.
What are your thoughts? I guess being an 18-year-old, you can finally vote now.
I mean, I was kind of mad that I turned 18 a few weeks after the election. I was really excited about that, but then I realized I was a little bit behind. But I guess the next election I'll have a big moment for that. And I don't know. I still feel the same as 17. I still feel the same as 16, really. Yeah. So I don't know.
One draw is that you can buy lottery tickets.
Yeah, you can.
There you go. You can get involved in the is it Super Bowl? Is that the big one in the States?
Lotto Max and all that sort of stuff.
Super Bowl's football. No, but I don't even know there's a big one every different.
Mega Ball, I think is what it's called. Something ball. Anyway.
Yeah, something.
All right, my friend. Before we get to the questions here, I understand that, and I do feel bad for you. I understand that somebody actually gave out your number on Twitter, and you were able to change it. And now that you have a new number, you don't have your favorite number, which is 21, on there. That's correct?
Yeah, I was pretty mad about that.
Do you want to just talk really quickly about just sort of like how did you find out about that happened?
I woke up this morning and I rolled out of bed trying to get on my phone. The alarm was going off. I was getting up for school, and I get on there and I see about this number that was like 5 ... as far as texts go, and I'm like, what does that even mean? No one gets that many texts.
Right.
So I open it and I see the first text said, "OMG, someone leaked your number on Twitter," and my heart just dropped. You have no idea.
Mm-hmm.
It was very awful. And then I kept scrolling, and then from that moment on, for the next 2 hours, I was getting constant phone calls. I had about 500 calls within 10 minutes, and my phone dropped from 90% to 1% battery within that time, too.
Holy crap.
So it was a pretty interesting day, especially after the fact that I found out that I wasn't the only one, and half of my friends had their numbers leaked as well, which was an awful moment for everybody. But I think everything should be solved now. We all changed our numbers, and hopefully we'll just be more careful next time.
Yeah, that's really too bad. And I think that really bothers.
For those of you just tuning in now, make sure you tweet us your questions at @radio_nation. We've got Peyton Psanders live on Skype with us here, joining us on the show.
Yeah, Peyton, sorry, I wanted to say that really bothers, I think, everybody that's an honest working journalist, because you shouldn't give out somebody's number like that. We respect people's privacy. So that's too bad, my friend.
But don't worry, we're neither honest nor journalists.
and we don't have your number, so.
Absolutely. I trust you guys, thanks. I'm always down with the Canadians.
That works.
All right, my friend, your career's really taken off since you started making it a career in the rap world, starting, I guess, really back in January of last year when you started posting music videos and that sort of thing. I mean, have you always been into music before you really started making it a career?
No, it always came as a surprise to me that people were listening to my music back when I first started last year. I put up a video, and within a month's time it had about 15,000 views, and it kind of blew my mind to the point that I realized I could make something out of this. And I kept working harder and harder. People didn't see what happened behind the scenes. Like, I would stay up all night long writing songs, and I would throw away 15 songs at a time before I got to one good one. And I think that's basically where it came from, was the hard work I put into it and the dedication of my fans. I think the connection I have with my fans is beyond any comparison to any other fan base, because they've helped build me, and I will never, ever forget that. And I, of course, repay them with amazing music, I hope.
Right on, and you've cited on your Facebook page that Eminem, Justin Timberlake, Jay-Z, Kanye West, the list goes on of musicians that have really, really influenced you. Is there one in particular musician that sort of had a greater influence on you than others?
Yeah, actually, Jay-Z has been my main inspiration because he was the first song I ever heard as far as rap and hip hop goes. And
do you remember what song it was?
Most people would say like Eminem would probably be your main inspiration, or Justin Bieber or something like that. But no, he's always my number one inspiration because he got me into the hip hop world as far as how my likes go, and I've never forgotten that. And he's always carried me through my whole career.
Do you remember what song it was by Jay-Z that you really that you first heard and you really liked?
Yeah, it's actually kind of funny. It's called Big Pimpin'. When you're 6 years old, you don't really think of that being like a 6 year old's favorite song, but it was Big Pimpin'. So there we go.
Right on. All right. So I guess going from there, what made you really just decide to? Was there a particular moment where you decided to sit down and just start recording and writing and all that sort of stuff that comes into to forming a music career?
It kind of came as a surprise, like I said. I put up a video on YouTube because some kids on Facebook that went to my school were putting up videos similar to it, and I wanted to get in on the action, but I tried to put up one on Facebook, and unfortunately it kept saying, like, will not load, will not load, so I was like, oh, I'll just get on YouTube, put up a video, and then I got a comment saying, you should make more, and I had no idea who it was from. And whoever that fan was out there, and I'm sure they're still around, I owe my career pretty much to that fan because they made me start to actually sit down and start writing music and actually learning the trade and the craft of it. And I think that's where I decided I kind of wanted to get into this career and build it for myself, and it worked out so far.
You released your EP Underrated back in March. What was the biggest challenge in coming up with that EP?
The biggest challenge was picking the songs for it because I had tweeted out on Twitter that I needed some instrumentals for it. I do everything on my own as far as, what I can, and my family helps along with it. But I needed some good instrumentals, and I got, about 500 instrumentals for it, and I had to just pick the best ones, and I think I did a good job. My fans enjoyed it, everyone enjoyed it, and I'm very proud of it.
Right on, and I've had a chance to hear it, and it's actually very, very well done. And speaking of shows and recording and that sort of thing, you were in LA not too long ago, actually, and I saw a picture where you're with Ali Simpson. What was it like meeting her?
Oh, well, she's a very beautiful girl, and I had lots of fun with her. She came to the show as a surprise, and the first thing that she said to me was, oh, I'm so sorry I missed your performance. I was rushing through traffic to get here, and my mind just kind of was going in different directions because I had never met her before, didn't know if she even knew who I was, but she was actually trying to get to the concert to see my performance, and that was a pretty heart-pounding moment right there.
Right on. I guess that would be pretty cool to meet somebody like that. Have you had a chance to meet Cody Simpson?
Unfortunately, no. I'm still waiting on that. I haven't got to meet him yet, but I'm sure I will soon because I'm out in LA quite a bit now, and he has quite a lot of shows, so hopefully.
Speaking of traveling, you got a show in New York on December 9th. What are your thoughts heading into that show?
That's gonna be awesome. The show is getting close to selling out, and it will be my second large show in New York. The first one was with Austin Mahone back in June, and this is gonna be my first one. He's not going to really be with me for this one, but it's going to be really great. And I think that the fans are going to love this show the most because it's going to be my biggest set yet.
How do you prepare for each show? Is there a different process for you, or do you just sort of do the same routine every time you go into doing a show?
I always have to get in my zone. People don't understand that on a day of a concert, why I'll ignore their text, I won't get on Facebook, I won't get on Twitter, I'll get on Twitter to talk to my fans, but I get in my zone. I put on my headphones. I listen to some of my favorite music, from Jay-Z to Drake to Justin, anybody who has really good, inspiring music for the moment, whatever I'm feeling. And I just walk around in circles and just recite my lyrics and just get in my zone. And nobody can touch me for that moment because I just have to be there. And once I step on stage, everything just falls into place.
Right on. I mean, do you have any superstitions sort of going into before a show? Is there things you don't do?
Oh, let's see. I do not eat anything greasy. No matter what, people say it won't mess up my voice or anything, but I won't eat anything greasy. I won't drink anything but water, and that's about it as far as superstitions go.
Right on. That's some pretty good ones, I'm not going to lie. Have you ever had a moment where you just went on stage and you get that stage fright? Does that ever happen to you?
It happened back in the beginning, and I kind of regret losing that feeling because it kind of made me feel like the moment was bigger than it really was. But now the moments are getting bigger, and I think I'm just getting used to those crowds. But I think that as the crowds get bigger and bigger, that might come back a little bit. But I think I'm just really growing into this profession, and the fans are amazing every time. So
right on. I'm going to switch gears here a bit. I'm going to there's some questions out on Twitter, and there's some really good ones, and there's some people having some difficulties hearing just because the way we're broadcasting it's kind of scratchy for whatever reason.
Okay.
So but don't worry. The people that are listening that can hear, we'll be putting this interview on YouTube as well. So if they didn't get to hear it, they'll obviously get a chance. But there's some really great questions.
And it's full quality.
Yeah.
Our understanding, folks, just to jump in here. Hi, I'm Andrew. Anyway, so the software that we're using right now is actually a trial version. The studio that we're using, we've essentially loaned out the studio from Centennial College in Toronto. The software that they're using is apparently a trial, and you have to use the full version to get crystal clear audio. So the static that you're hearing is, unfortunately, there's nothing we can do about it on our end.
Yeah, that's just the way it goes here.
Try to bear with it, please. We beg you. The actual interview itself we'll put up on the website in HD quality audio, so that'll be up probably tomorrow or the day after, so please just bear with us.
So for that, I'm going to start, Peyton, you still there?
I'm still here.
Right on. All right, I'm going to start asking. I'm going to pull a few questions off Twitter because, like I said, there are some good ones. So this one comes from Alex Sanders, and, well, I don't know if that's actually her real name, but anyway, it says, what has been your favorite moment in your career so far?
My favorite moment was New York City with Austin. When I stepped out on that stage for the first time and I believe there were 6,000 people there. That was the happiest moment of my life, just knowing that they knew every word to the song and they were all holding up the 21s in the air, and I nearly stopped breathing, pretty much.
This is you just touched on something that I wanted to ask. What is the full story behind the number 21? I know you're born on the 21st, so what's the full story behind the 21?
Well, 21st definitely plays a big role into it because it is my birthday. It's also my favorite number. On the 21st of November 1994, which was my birthday, my actual birth moment, I couldn't breathe when I was born, and I couldn't even make any sound. And it's kind of ironic that now I'm a rapper and I make tons of music, but the doctors had to do some pretty heavy procedures, and I almost didn't make it. But I'm alive today, and I'm perfectly healthy, 121%. And now 21 is my symbol. 2 + 1 is 3, so we all do the less than 21 because it makes a heart, and it's become a part of our fan base, our family, and everything that we're about.
That's really cool, actually. That is very, very cool. I like that. Here's a question from Alexa, and it says, are you a morning person or a night owl?
Night owl completely, ever since the day I was born, because I just can't get up in the morning. My body feels like it weighs 1,000 pounds. I have trouble. I don't care how loud my alarm is. I cannot get up. I stay up late, though. I love
How important has your family been in your whole career?
My family has been extraordinarily important because they've helped me with so much. I did everything on my own in a sense that they helped me along the way. Like my aunt helps design T-shirts. My mom helps ship out stuff. My grandparents help to distribute the merchandise at my concerts. My sister helps design some things, and everybody plays a big part in my career, and they all help me do everything. So I think that my family is extremely important to me, and it should be, as even if they didn't do anything. But the fact that they've helped me out with so much and they want me to succeed is beyond phenomenal.
I'm going to go through a list here of some other questions. What has been the biggest moment for you, I guess the biggest change since becoming famous? And that comes from a question on Twitter.
Well, the biggest change would be finding out who my true friends are. I had probably every friend in school before I started doing this, and I lost probably 99% of them because people change whenever they start seeing you do something that's out of the norm. Like, I come from a very, very well-privileged area, but everybody didn't want to see that change. Everybody wanted me to the normal stuff.
All right, I'm going to pull through some more questions. Who has been your biggest inspiration?
My biggest inspiration, and I've already listed Jay-Z and Timberlake and everybody else like that, but my biggest inspiration, hands down, has been Justin Bieber, because nobody knows the story, but in 8th grade, I actually messaged him. He had about 400 views on a video, something like that, and I messaged him saying, you're really good, like, I really like your music, keep putting out more videos, kind of like what my fans did for me. And he actually replied a long time ago, and I have not talked to him since, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to see him really soon, and his whole career has been exactly how I envisioned my career to becoming, except for a different kind of genre of music, but he's been a huge inspiration to me.
Here's another good question, and it comes off of Twitter as well. And it says, "Do you find it weird that how much people fangirl over you?"
No. The first time that I ever experienced something like this was in Chicago. I hugged a girl, and she literally passed out right there. And I'm not even joking. She just was flat out cold, and she was shaking and crying. And that was the first moment. That kind of was like I didn't know what to do, but I think that prepared me for the whole fangirl lifestyle, because in New York I got, almost ripped to shreds by some girls out there because I had scratches all up on my arms and stuff from that concert. But I like it. I think that the dedication that they embody is amazing, and I think that they need to just keep doing what they do, because that shows true love, and that's what they like to do. So go ahead, fangirl.
Right on. What's that feeling like then, to just have so many fans? I mean, you've literally drawn in enough traffic on our site that it's pretty insane. I'm not gonna lie. So what does it feel like to just have all these fans from all over the United States and all over the world?
Because we're not gonna lie, we have no idea.
I think just some people are born ready for something like this. I think some people just know how to handle it, and I think that the fact that I had so many friends in my lifetime that kind of prepared me for the large crowds of people and everything that I've ever done. The thing that kind of got me the most was if I would go to a restaurant and there'd be people taking pictures of me, and that's kind of something you would see in movies or TV or I don't know, something like that. But it happens to me on a regular now, and it just I love it. I think that shows true dedication, and that shows that I'm doing something right, because if people want to put forth enough love and enough support that they'll do that, and they'll follow you around and they'll fangirl their hearts out, then so be it. I'm going to support that completely.
Well, if this makes you feel any better, you literally have just drawn 121 people onto our site at this very moment. That doesn't even count the people that have been listening for more than 5 minutes. So you've got a lot of fans, my friend, a lot of fans out there.
So shout out to all you people who are listening in right now.
Yeah, and bearing with the really crappy audio quality, because we're doing our best, but like I said, there's really
even when we can get the show running, we have bad audio. God love this studio.
Here's a question for you, and this is from myself. What is the most interesting gift a fan has ever given you?
Most interesting gift would be a detailed map of what I was supposed to wear to prom with her, a map to her house from Georgia, the type of flowers I was supposed to give her, the type of car I was supposed to pick her up in, everything. It was the full 9 yards of what I was supposed to do to make her prom the most perfect thing ever. And I'm sorry I could not make that come true, but it was just very interesting. It kind of had me laughing for a few hours. It was pretty cool.
When you started your career, what was the biggest obstacle you had to overcome?
Definitely figuring out how to handle all the negative attention along with the positive. People love to hate what they can't have. People tweeting and Facebooking posts that were just awful, very, very degrading towards me and what I love to do. And I think that was just the hardest part. And once I got over that obstacle and learned to live for my fans and live for my music and what I want to do, I think everything else just kind of faded to the dust, and I don't really see any of that hate anymore. I don't really understand any of that stuff. I can't quite comprehend it, so I don't even pay attention to it. And I think that was the biggest obstacle in my career, in my life.
Right on. I guess, was there a moment in your career when you, at a point where you realized, I'm doing something right here? Like you mentioned earlier, the show in Chicago, being in New York, was there a real defining moment where you're like, I am doing something really right?
Yes, I was in Chicago for the first time. It was very, very shortly after I had started up my first video, and I didn't think I had that many fans. I walk into the park in Chicago, and I had tweeted I was going to be there, so I didn't really know who was all going to be there. I got maybe 3 or 4 tweets, and I got mobbed by so many people. The cops came. Everything was it was a big deal to me. I had never seen anything like it, and I realized that I may not see all these tweets, and I may not be getting a lot of tweets from people at this point in time in my life, but they're there, and they're fans, and they're real, and this is happening, and that's how I knew.
Now, you mentioned high school. Do you actually just go to a normal? Do you not homeschool or anything? You actually go to just a regular high school?
Well, I actually just started going back to a normal high school. It's my senior year, and I'm going back for a senior year. I took a little year off to travel and start up my career even more, and travel and fans and do shows. And now I'm back in high school, and it's kind of tough because I am still traveling on a crazy basis. Like, I was just in LA a few weeks ago, and now I'm going to New York. But I'm doing it, and I think I just, I'm just living a little normal life while I can.
Is it hard for you to go to high school because you are so popular? Does it distract from your schoolwork?
No, actually, some of the younger kids in the high school will point and take pictures and stuff while I'm walking through it. But other than that, people treat me pretty normally at this school. It's a different high school than I used to go to. It's a brand new one, and nobody really knew me there as far as before my career. And people that know what I do now, and it's most of the school, they don't really they don't really give me any negative or positive attention. They kind of just like, oh, that's really cool, congratulations, and that's it. So I think I'm doing okay as far as school goes. Nobody really bothers me.
Do you have to be careful of what you do then? Do you have to be very careful of who you surround yourself with because you're in a public environment and you are a rising star? Do you have to be very careful with the things you do and say just around certain people?
Yeah, all the time. This has been something I learned very early in my Twitter days, really, where I would tweet certain things or to certain people, and people would take it out of context, and it would be all over Twitter within a matter of minutes. And people don't understand what you actually mean if it's just written or if it's just said once, or what you're really feeling unless they know you for real. And I think that I always have to watch what I'm doing, and I don't really do much that would really compromise anything that I have going on. But I think I always just have to be very, very respectful and very on my A game all the time, just to make sure I can't ruin this career. I can't lose any fans, and I'm not going to do that at all.
Question off of Twitter here comes from the Psanders Army _21, and that's obviously off Twitter. And they ask, will you be releasing a new single anytime soon?
I'm working on a lot of projects right now. I have a lot of new videos on the way, a lot of new music I'm working on, trying to decide how I'm going to release it, in what format, when, where, how, all that stuff. So stay tuned, fans. I love all you guys. Just make sure that you keep supporting, and there'll be new music in no time.
What has been, I guess, your favorite part about this whole experience?
Meeting all these new people. I started out last year, with just me and my fans, and I have friends in every single state and pretty much the entire country, and sometimes, some other countries too. And I think it's just amazing how I can go literally anywhere and have people there, fans there, friends there, family, anybody who really, loves what I do and actually understands what I do, and that's probably the best part.
A question we want to know. This also comes off of Love P. Sanders. When are you coming to Canada?
When am I coming to Canada? Hey, that sounds fun. Well, I have a lot of requests in my inbox right now. Some companies want to take me on tour next year. Several companies, actually, and some of the destinations are actually leading to Canada. So we'll see. Stay tuned. I mean,
will you be making a stop at
follow me
Radio
on
Nation?
Twitter, and everything should be okay with that. Hopefully, I'll be there. Sorry, what was that?
When will you be making a stop at Radio Nation when you visit Toronto?
I'd love to.
That'd be awesome.
We'll be here.
Yep.
Studio or not, equipment or not, we'll be here.
That's what I'm talking about. Always
You heard
working.
it here first. When Peyton Sanders comes to Toronto, come check us out at Radio Nation, and we will have him here.
Yeah, we'll have a really good time. Peyton, what is your favorite song right now?
Favorite song at the moment? Oh man, that's a real hard one. I'm kind of getting tired of all this club music. Actually, I was going through the radio today and hearing all this club music. I need some new music on here. But my favorite song at the moment would have to be. There's a new David Guetta song with Ludacris and Usher. I'm not sure what it's called, but it's probably my favorite at the moment.
Are you a summer or a fall person? This comes from Alexa.
Summer all the way. I hate the cold. I know fall isn't that cold, but in Georgia it is. And I love the summer. I love beaches. I love hot weather. I love tank tops, shorts, everything. So I'm ready for summer again.
Then I would advise you to avoid Canada between the seasons of fall and spring.
from about September until June.
Unless I can go snowboarding, then I'm good.
Yeah, well, we have that here.
That's the only thing I like about the cold is that you can go snowboarding.
But here's an interesting question. What is your favorite fruit?
My favorite fruit?
Yep, that's off Twitter.
All right. Well, I love fruit. I put them in my smoothies all the time that I make for protein shakes and whatnot. But I like blackberries, actually. Blackberries are probably my favorite.
How much do your fans mean to you?
I know Nick would like to put his BlackBerry in a blender.
Yeah.
My fans are indescribably the biggest part of my world because they're the reason why I'm here today. Like, them combined with my friends and my family is why I'm here today and why I'm on this show and why I'm speaking to Radio Nation right now. Because my fans don't understand that everything I do, and even if a fan ever decided to leave, I think it'd probably break my heart because every single individual one of them is my world, hands down.
Would you ever consider making a music video with your fans? And this is a question off Twitter as well.
Yes, I would love to, because I was kind of thinking of like a concert scene or a party scene or something. I'd love to get my fans involved. It's just hard to whenever there's so many fans spread out all over the place. I wish that maybe I could kind of get something together, but we'll see. Definitely for the future.
Is there a venue or a city, it can be both, that you've always wanted to perform at?
Well, Justin kind of iconized the Madison Square Garden effect, which is where the show sold out in 20-something minutes, and it's always been my dream to sell out that concert in 21 minutes, obviously for the 21. But that even if it didn't sell out in 21 minutes, that's actually one of my biggest goals, is to perform at Madison Square Garden.
Peyton, what's your motto?
Never give up, never let go, never give in. Pretty self-explanatory, but it means a whole lot more to me, and I've lived by it ever since I started.
Was there ever a moment in your career where you actually doubted yourself?
Pretty much once or twice, actually. There was some low moments. The first time was over the summer, last summer, which was whenever I was first starting out, and I saw my best friends putting some bad stuff about me on Facebook, and I kind of just wanted to give up and go back to my normal life and stuff. And I decided to stick through it because of people on Twitter, people on Facebook telling me that they wanted to see more, they didn't want me to stop, and I deleted all the tweets saying I was doubting myself, and I got back on my A game and decided to start taking over the industry, and I think I'm doing a good job.
Got a couple more minutes here. Just going to take a couple more questions. What is your favorite memory, or I guess what is your favorite childhood memory?
Well, I kind of had a very, very special childhood experience because I lived on a street where there was tons of kids. There was kids in every single house down this entire lane, and we would just go on these crazy adventures, something that you would probably see out of a movie like Sandlot or something like that, where there's just a bunch of kids like Little Rascals. We had so much fun, and it kind of feels like a dream now. It feels like it never even happened, but that was probably my best childhood memories, hanging out and actually going outside. Kids don't even go outside anymore. Like, you can drive down a street and there's no one outside. I don't know what's happening with this world, but I loved playing outside. I loved riding my bikes and basketball and going through the woods and getting dirty and all that stuff. It's a good childhood.
Right on. What is your favorite movie? This is the second last question I can take. So what is your favorite movie?
The Dark Knight. Not the Rises one, not the third one, but the second one with Heath Ledger. It's hands down my favorite.
That was a good movie. Did you get to see it in theater?
Absolutely, like 20 times.
Yeah, it was a pretty solid movie. I remember when that came out. Another question is this, and this is the final one for now. We might take more later, just over Twitter, and we can tweet them to you, I guess, as well. But the last question we can take for this segment is this. If you could meet one person in the world, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
Michael Jackson. He's been a big part of my music love, I guess, like my love with music. His music, a lot of people don't understand it as far as kids my age anymore, but I really love it. I really think that he is an icon, and I think that if he was still alive today, that he could have probably taken over the world again if he wanted to. And I think that he would have been an amazing person to meet. Just sit down and listen to his goals. I watched his movie a few weeks ago, and I realized how ingenious he really is. And ever since maybe 3 years ago, I've thought he was awesome.
All right, Peyton, is there anything else you want to add before I let you go tonight? Because we want to thank you personally for just coming on the show and bearing with us, because we've had a lot of problems. We've had a lot of fun doing this, and I wish we had more time, so we're going to definitely have to come back sometime.
I would love to come back. Thank you guys for inviting me, and I completely understand those problems. I've had lots of technical difficulties in my lifetime, but I definitely would like to come back. I'd love to see you guys up in Canada. Thank you for having me on the show. Thank you to everybody who's been watching. Questions, your support, your love, everything you do. Keep repping the 2-1. And my name is Psanders.
All right, Peyton, thank you very much for joining us tonight, and take care.